I just want to reiterate how powerful it is. You were saying that there needs to be more vocal entities in veganism. I think that's really powerful that JME simply shared Gary Rofsky's speech. I'm assuming it's the best speech you'll ever hear, that one.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you ended up stumbling across it. You watch it. Not only do you go vegan, but you become an activist. And not only do you become an activist, but you're really effective and your arguments are really solid. And so what I'm saying is you've become a really um, important entity for veganism, and that's just so powerful, isn't it? Just think that it started from a simple share. Was it on Facebook?
yeah. It was. That's the power of social media. That's what lit the match. Just literally a simple share, and the only tagline for it, all literally JME just said on it was just watch it, watch the whole thing. That was it. He didn't even need to say anything because Gary did all the talking.
Yeah, that's just insane, man. That's really powerful, and that's social media for you, like you said, and that's where I'm focusing my efforts on, as well as with AV, because I want social media to be utilized for. I mean, that's the reason I'm vegan is because of social media. So I
Yeah,
want to give back to that as well.
that's what I was going to ask you actually. What was the sort of turning point that first made you go vegan? Was it something you saw on YouTube or?
Yeah, it was YouTube, but to be honest, what really got me on this path to begin with was health. I was always a big nutrition nerd, and in 2012, I decided to go raw vegan, 100% raw vegan. And that was because of Dan McDonald, the Life Regenerator. And then after being raw for some time and just getting really, really into like plant-based nutrition and stuff like that, I always knew plant-based was best. Documentaries really made an impact on me, like Food Inc. to begin with, but Food Inc. will still lead you to go and eat farmers market meat and stuff like that. So it doesn't get you to go
Yeah,
vegan necessarily. And then I watched Food Matters, and then I watched Forks Over Knives. Forks Over Knives led me to the China study, and that book really, really impacted me so much. I just read it like 3 times, I think. And but being raw vegan was what really got me on the path of thinking more in terms of being a plant-based person. And then through that I started to learn more about, because I spent nearly every waking minute wanting to learn more, and then you stumble across activists, and when
yeah,
I stumbled across Durian Rider, who would wear his vegan t-shirt all the time, and that really influenced me a lot to sort of take veganism with stride and with pride. But what really locked in the arguments, because he never really got into the arguments, he never really like hammered home why it's important to be vegan in terms of animal rights and stuff. It was Gary Arofsky. Gary Arofsky and his speeches was what really, yeah, really got me to consider how important it is to be vegan and why we should be activists as well. So that's what did it for me. I can't really call myself a vegan prior to that, because veganism is about non-human animals. It's not about what you eat.
yeah. I was going to touch on that actually because so you basically originally went vegan for health, and then I guess the ethics sort of came along with that as you were sort of studying more and more, right? But originally you did it for health.
I didn't do vegan for health. I did plant-based for health.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I know what you mean.
but then when I realized that my health is just about me, and then when I realized, okay, this is probably really good for the environment too. If I'm raw vegan, I'm only eating fruits and veg. That's really, I'm lowering my impact on the environment a lot. So then I thought that's really cool too. But I wasn't out in public telling people about the environmental aspects to being plant-based. But when I learned about the animal rights issues, I thought, oh, there's actually an injustice occurring, and it's occurring at such a rate that can't be compared to any other injustice that's ever existed on the planet. And these are the most vulnerable and innocent beings on the planet, and they're the most brutalized on the planet. and etc., that's when I was like, okay, I need to step outside of myself. It's not just about me. What's more important about what I'm doing is my participation in ending this injustice, but I need to be more vocal. And it was only last year in June that I decided to be an activist. So I think that's when I was really like, okay, this message needs to get out there. But what really got me educated on the facts was Gary Roski, but then also, I think you could probably relate to this. It's arguing with people on Facebook, because then you have to sharpen your arguments, and then you find ways to speak about veganism to people through that. It sort of sharpens your fangs.
And you know what? The arguments you constantly see on Facebook are actually one of the things that keep you vegan forever, because they're so bad that you just think, I'd be embarrassed to ever be on that team again.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I, not only because I've given up, say I quit veganism. Obviously the worst part of that is turning your back on the animals. It's a horrible thing. But to live with the fact that you're now on the side of these people who are justifying this because of canines and stuff like that, how could you even live with yourself?
I know, right? There's actually a great meme about that. It's like, I think it goes, went vegan for the animals, stayed because of the non-vegan arguments.
Yeah, that is perfect. Yeah.